If you're watching this alone, you might want to stop now. I'm serious, because what I'm about to tell you didn't start like a horror story. It didn't feel like something dangerous. It felt like a stupid message from the wrong person. At exactly 11:43 p.m., my phone lit up. Unknown number. No name, no profile picture. Just one message. You're alone right now. I stared at the screen for a few seconds, confused. Then I laughed. Very funny, I muttered. It had to be one of my friends. Maybe Mark. He liked messing with people, especially late at night. But something felt off. I hadn't told anyone I'd be home alone. My parents left that morning for a 2-day trip, and I ignored most messages all evening. No posts, no calls, nothing. No one should have known. I typed back, "Who is this?" The reply came instantly. Too instantly. "Second floor, your room, lights off, phone in your right hand." My heart stopped. Slowly, I looked around my room. Everything was exactly as the message said. Lights off. Me, sitting on the bed. Phone in my right hand. A cold feeling crawled up my spine. "Okay, not funny," I whispered. I stood up quickly and turned on the light. The room flooded with brightness. Nothing unusual. Just my desk, my chair, the window behind me. The window. I turned toward it. At first, I only saw my reflection. But then, I thought I saw something move. Outside. A shadow. Gone in a second. I rushed to the window and pulled the curtain aside. Empty street. No one there. No movement. No cars. Nothing. My phone buzzed again. I hesitated before looking. Then, slowly, I raised it. "Turn the hallway light on." I swallowed. "No," I said out loud. Silence. Then another message. "Do it." My chest felt tight. Every instinct told me not to listen. But something worse whispered in the back of my mind. What if it's already inside? I stepped toward my door. Each step felt heavier than the last. I reached for the handle. Paused. Then slowly opened it. The hallway was dark. Completely silent. I leaned out just enough to reach the switch. My fingers hovered over it. "Just turn it on," I whispered to myself. I flipped it. The light snapped on. For a second, nothing. Then my phone vibrated. I didn't want to look, but I did. And I wish I hadn't. Good. A pause. Then one more message appeared. "Now I can see you better." I didn't move. I just stood there in the doorway, staring at my phone, trying to process what I'd just read. "Now I can see you better." My first instinct was to slam the door and lock it. So I did. Hard. The click of the lock echoed louder than it should have. I backed away slowly, my eyes still fixed on the screen. Okay, think," I whispered. Someone was watching me. That part was no longer a question. But how? I rushed to my window again and looked outside more carefully this time. The street was empty. No parked cars with people inside. No silhouettes. No movement at all. Just the quiet glow of a distant streetlight and the wind barely moving the trees. My phone buzzed again. I flinched. Then looked. Don't look outside. My breath caught. I hadn't texted anything. I hadn't said anything. And yet, it knew exactly what I was doing. I slowly stepped away from the window. Every movement suddenly felt observed, like I was performing for someone. Or something. I grabbed my phone tighter and typed, "Where are you?" A few seconds passed this time. Long enough to make me hope maybe it was over. Then, close. My stomach dropped. I turned around. Checked my room again. Closet. Under the bed. Bathroom. Nothing. No one. But the feeling didn't go away. That heavy, suffocating feeling of not being alone. At 2:17 a.m., my phone suddenly lit up again, but this time it wasn't a message. It was a notification from my security camera app. Motion detected. Front yard. I froze. I hadn't even thought about the cameras until now. With shaking hands, I opened the app. The live feed loaded slowly. Too slowly. Then, finally, the image appeared. The front yard. Empty. Just like before. I exhaled, a small wave of relief washing over me. False alarm, I muttered. But then, something shifted. At the very edge of the frame, a shape. Dark. Tall. Standing completely still. Facing the house. My heart started pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. I leaned closer to the screen. Zoomed in. The image glitched. Pixelated. Like the camera couldn't handle it. Like it didn't want to show it clearly. "What the hell?" I whispered. The figure didn't move. Didn't blink. Didn't breathe. Just stood there. Watching. My phone vibrated again. I didn't even want to look this time. But I forced myself. Don't zoom. My hand slipped. I dropped the phone onto the bed like it burned me. Slowly, I looked back at the window. The curtain moved slightly. Just a little. Like something had brushed against it. From the outside. Or my chest tightened. From the inside. And that's when I realized something that made my blood run cold. The front yard camera wasn't pointed at the window. It couldn't see my room. It couldn't see me at all. So how did it know I zoomed in? I didn't sleep. Not even for a minute. I sat on my bed with the lights on, staring at my phone, waiting for the next message like it was inevitable. And it was. At exactly 9:12 a.m., my screen lit up again. "You slept for 27 minutes. My chest tightened. That wasn't true. I hadn't slept. I knew I hadn't. Right? I quickly checked the time logs on my phone, notifications, activity. There was a gap, a missing chunk of time. My hands started shaking. Another message came in. "You checked the door 3 times. I slowly turned my head toward the door. It was closed. Locked. But I didn't remember checking it more than once. "Stop," I whispered. "Just stop." No answer. For a few minutes, nothing happened. Silence. The kind that feels wrong. Heavy. Then, "You're thinking about leaving." I froze. Because I was. I hadn't said it out loud. I hadn't even fully decided yet. But the thought was there. And it knew. That was enough. I grabbed my jacket and keys immediately. "I'm getting out of here," I muttered. I didn't care anymore who it was. I didn't care if I looked paranoid. I just needed distance. I walked to the front door slowly, listening to every sound around me. Nothing. No footsteps. No movement. Just silence. Too perfect. I reached for the handle. My hand hovered there for a second. Then I opened it. Cold air hit my face. The street looked normal. Daylight. Empty, but normal. I stepped outside. 1 step. Then another. My phone vibrated. I didn't want to check. But I did. "Don't." I stopped. My breath caught. I looked back at the house. Everything looked the same. But something felt off. Like I was making a mistake. I turned slightly, and that's when I saw it. Scratched into the paint of the door. Words. Deep. Messy. like they were carved in a hurry. "I see you better inside." I stumbled back, my heart racing. I hadn't seen that before. It wasn't there last night. It couldn't have been. My phone buzzed again. I didn't even need to look. I already knew. But I did anyway. "Come back in." I looked at the empty street, then back at the door, then at the words. And for the first time, I wasn't sure which was worse, being inside or being out here. I stood there, frozen between the street and the house, the message still glowing on my screen. "Come back in." The wind picked up slightly, brushing against my face, but it didn't feel real. Nothing did. I looked around. Empty road. Silent houses. No movement in any windows. No people. No witnesses. Just me and that house behind me. My grip tightened around the phone. "Think," I whispered. "Just think. If it wanted me inside, maybe outside was safer. Right?" I took another step away from the door. Then another. My heart started to slow down. Just a little. Then, my phone vibrated again. I closed my eyes for a second before looking. Wrong choice. A loud thud came from inside the house. I spun around instantly. The door. It slammed shut on its own. Hard. The sound echoed across the empty street. "What the—" I stepped closer slowly. The handle moved. Just slightly. Like someone on the other side had touched it. My breath caught in my throat. "No, no, no." Another vibration. "You left it open." I stared at the door. I knew I hadn't. I remembered closing it behind me. Didn't I? My mind started racing. Memories felt slippery, unreliable, like something was messing with them. Then I noticed something new. The scratch on the door, it had changed. The words were still there, but now there was something added underneath. Fresh. Deeper. Like it had just been carved seconds ago. "Don't make me come out." I stumbled back again, my heart pounding violently now. This wasn't just watching anymore. This was reacting, responding, moving. Inside. My house. Another message came through. Last chance. I looked at the street one more time. Still empty. Still silent. Too silent. Like the whole world had stepped back and left me here alone with it. Then, something shifted behind the door. A shadow. Slow. Close. Right up against the other side. My chest tightened. I couldn't breathe. I didn't think anymore. I just moved. I grabbed the handle and pulled the door open fast, stepping back inside without looking. The moment I crossed the threshold, the door slammed shut behind me. Locked. By itself. My phone buzzed one more time. I looked down slowly, hands shaking. Good. A pause. Then, "Now don't move," I froze. Every muscle in my body locked in place the moment I read it. "Now don't move." I stood just inside the doorway, barely breathing. The house felt different. Heavier. Like the air itself was watching me. Tick. Tick. The sound came from somewhere deeper inside. Slow. Rhythmic. Not a clock. Something else. My phone vibrated again. Listen. I didn't want to, but I did. The sound grew louder, dragging, scraping. From the hallway. My chest tightened. It was coming closer. Step. Drag. Step. Drag. I tried to turn my head, but another message stopped me. "Don't." Tears filled my eyes. Whatever was in my house was moving, and it knew exactly where I was. The sound stopped. Right outside the hallway. Silence. Then, a faint whisper. So close I felt it on my skin. Almost. My phone buzzed one last time. I looked down slowly. Now run. I ran. I didn't think. I didn't look back. The moment I read the message, my body just reacted. I sprinted down the hallway, past the living room, straight toward the stairs. My footsteps echoed too loudly, like the house was amplifying every sound I made. Behind me, that noise started again. Faster now. Step, drag. Step, drag. No, not dragging anymore. Running. My heart slammed against my chest as I took the stairs 2 at a time, almost slipping. I grabbed the railing, pulled myself up, and rushed into my room, slamming the door behind me. Lock. Click. I backed away, gasping for air. Silence. For a moment, nothing. Then, a slow creak. From the other side of the door. Something touched it. Pressed against it. The handle moved. Once. Twice. I covered my mouth to stop myself from making a sound. My phone vibrated. I didn't want to look, but I had to. Too slow. My blood went cold. Then, another message. Wrong room. I felt my stomach drop. Slowly, I turned my head toward the closet. The door was slightly open. Just a crack. Dark inside. Too dark. I was sure I had closed it earlier. I was sure. My breathing became shallow. Quiet. I took a step back. Then another. The closet door creaked a little wider, on its own. From inside, something shifted. A shape. Tall. Too tall to fit. Bending. Watching. My phone buzzed again. I didn't even want to read it. But I did. Found you. I couldn't move. My body just stopped. That thing in the closet. It didn't rush me. It didn't jump out. It just stood there, bent unnaturally inside the darkness, like it didn't belong in that space or in this world at all. Watching me. Waiting. My phone vibrated in my hand. Don't scream. A quiet sound escaped my throat anyway. Not a scream. Not yet. Just a broken breath. The thing shifted. Slowly. Its head tilted to the side, like it was studying me. Then, it moved. A single step forward. Out of the closet. Its body stretched as it straightened. Too tall, too thin, limbs wrong, joints bending where they shouldn't. I stumbled back and hit the wall. No, no, I whispered. Another step. Closer. I could hear it now. Breathing. Wet. Uneven. My phone buzzed again. It doesn't like noise. I pressed my hand over my mouth instantly. Tears blurred my vision. The thing stopped. Right in the middle of the room. Its head turned slightly. Toward my phone. Toward the light. Then, it twitched. Fast. Violent. Like something snapped inside it. My phone buzzed again. Longer this time. I looked down. Shaking. Turn it off. I hesitated. Just for a second. And that was enough. The thing's head snapped toward me. Fully this time. Too fast. Too sharp. I saw its face. Or what should have been a face. And I screamed. The sound tore out of me before I could stop it. The thing lunged. Everything went black. For a second. Just a second. Then, silence. I was still standing. Still in my room. The closet was closed. Nothing there. Nothing in front of me. My breath came in sharp gasps. What? What? My phone buzzed again. I looked down slowly, hands shaking uncontrollably. You weren't supposed to see it yet. I dropped to the floor. My legs just gave out beneath me. You weren't supposed to see it yet. The message burned into my mind. Yet. That word echoed louder than anything else. This wasn't over. It was just early. I looked around my room again. Closet closed. Door still locked. Window untouched. Nothing out of place. Like it never happened. But I knew it did. I felt it. My hands were still shaking, my chest still tight. That thing, it was real. My phone vibrated again. You broke the order. I swallowed hard. Order? What order? Another message came instantly. Now I can move freely. My heart stopped. What do you mean? A sound cut me off. Not from the hallway. Not from the closet. From above me. A slow creak. From the ceiling. I froze. There was nothing above my room. Just the attic. No one ever went up there. No one. The creak came again. Then, a soft dragging sound. Moving. Directly over me. I slowly lifted my head, staring at the ceiling. The wood shifted slightly. Dust fell down. Something was up there. Crawling. My phone buzzed. Don't look up. Too late. I was already staring. And that's when I saw it. A shape. Pressing down from above. Like something was lying flat, right against the ceiling. Following me. My breath stopped. It moved. Slowly. Tracking. Every step I took back, it followed. Then, a sharp crack. A thin line split across the ceiling. Right above me, another crack. Louder. Spreading. My phone vibrated again. I didn't move. I couldn't. I looked down. Run again. Before I could react, the ceiling broke. The ceiling collapsed. A sharp crack, splinters flying, dust clouding the room. My eyes stung, my ears rang, and the darkness above swallowed half the light. Something fell through. Something heavy. Something alive. I scrambled backward, hands scraping against the floor, chest pounding so hard I thought it would burst. My phone slipped from my fingers, landing screen down with a soft thunk. I couldn't see it anymore, but I could feel it. It moved. Fast. Too fast. Across the floor toward me. Shadows stretched impossibly long under the flickering ceiling light, limbs bending the wrong way, the air vibrating with every step. I grabbed the nearest thing, a chair, and swung it blindly. It hit nothing. Silence. But I could hear it breathing, wet, ragged, right behind me. I turned to run, and that's when I saw the door. My only exit. It was open, wide, and empty, safe. I sprinted toward it, but the floor groaned beneath me, unstable. I stumbled. My hands hit the wall, nails scraping wood. Behind me, a whisper, soft, yet clear. You can't leave. I froze, heart hammering, every instinct screaming. But the door was there. Escape was there. My phone buzzed in my pocket. I dared not check. My fingers brushed it. Another message. Step outside, but not free. I took a trembling step forward, then another, and the shadow lunged. Everything went black again. When I opened my eyes, I wasn't in my room anymore. I woke up on cold, hard concrete. The air smelled damp and metallic. My head throbbed. I tried to move. My arms and legs felt weak, as if I'd been drugged. I looked around. Complete darkness, except for a faint light leaking through cracks in the walls. Then I noticed the walls weren't walls at all. They were cages. Not bars, but something darker, something organic, pulsating slightly. Shapes moved in the shadows. Whispers, low, unintelligible murmurs, like hundreds of voices speaking at once, but just beyond comprehension. My phone buzzed. Somehow it had survived. I grabbed it with shaking hands. The screen lit up. One message. "Welcome to the inside. You belong now." A movement in the darkness caught my eye. The tall, wrong-shaped figure from my room emerged, its limbs bending unnaturally, joints cracking with each step. But this time, it wasn't alone. More shapes followed, taller, thinner, faceless, all watching, all silent. I tried to run, but the floor seemed to shift beneath me, pulsing, moving. My legs buckled. I fell. A whisper came from everywhere and nowhere. "You thought you could leave. You were wrong, and now so many watch you." Panic consumed me. I screamed, but the sound felt swallowed by the darkness. My phone buzzed one last time. "We see everything, always. Alone is a lie." And then the figures advanced. The light went out. And I realized I was never going home again.